Hello, welcome to the next video lecture on strength of materials.
When there is a restriction for the deformation, thermal stresses are induced. Normally, we will come across compound bars made up of more than one material. First one is called parallel arrangement. Second case is series arrangement. In the first case, steel and copper I have taken as example. Here, since alpha of copper is greater than alpha of steel, copper tries to expand more, but steel, since it has less rate of expansion, it pulls the copper back. It applies constraint on the expansion of copper. Similarly, steel generally deforms less compared to copper, but copper is trying to expand more. It pulls the steel member. So each of these member will try to impose a constraint on the other member. That is why thermal stresses are induced here. If I consider the free expansion of copper, this is the free expansion of copper, alpha delta TL of copper. Similarly, when I consider only steel member, when copper is not present, let us say it expands by so much. This is alpha delta TL of steel. But because those two members are put together now, or they are fixed to each other, the actual deformation will be somewhere here. The surface which was here has moved to this location now, or this is the final position of the surface. So it is as good as pushing this copper member back to this surface with a force of, let us say, PC. This much is called DL. Similarly, this steel member is pushed like this, a force of PS, and here the deformation is DL of steel. This is DL of copper. DL is nothing but PL by AE. Equilibrium equation is because P is sigma into A. That is the equilibrium equation. That is one equation. That is not sufficient because it is a statically indeterminate case. We need two equations. So one more equation is kinematic condition, which is formed by these whatever I have shown now. I can write alpha delta TL of copper minus TL of copper is equal to alpha delta TL of steel plus TL of steel. This can be written as alpha delta TL of copper minus alpha delta TL of steel is equal to DLS plus DLC. This expression you need to remember for parallel cases. If you have these two equations, you can solve it. But for the material is in series, if the copper member is not present, steel would have deformed, let us say this much. Left hand side is fixed, so right hand side, it deforms so much. And this is what? This is alpha delta TL of steel. Similarly, when steel is not present, when copper is only present, it can deform in this direction. This is alpha delta TL of copper. With both materials present now, since copper expansion is more, this junction would have moved to a new location here. This is the final position. That means the steel member which was deforming so much is compressed back like this. This is the load applied on steel. Copper member which was supposed to deform so much, it is compressed back in this direction. So this is PC. So both the members are in compression here. But here only copper is under compression, steel is in tension. In parallel arrangement, the material which is having more alpha will be under compression. Material which is having less alpha is in tension. But in series arrangement, both the members will be under compression. Here also, equilibrium equation is same. PC is equal to PS, or sigma C AC is equal to sigma S AS. But the second equation, alpha delta TL of copper plus alpha delta TL of steel is equal to DLS plus DLC. Observe that only this sign is different here between these two. If you know these four formulas, you can solve any problem on thermal stress. There will be one more question to find out this X. In the previous case also it is here. X is this. X we should be able to find out. In the previous case, X is equal to alpha delta TL of copper minus DLC, or it is also equal to alpha delta TL of steel plus DLC. In the series case, X is equal to alpha delta TL of copper minus DLC, or it is also equal to DLS minus alpha delta TL of S. We can move on to the first problem. Stepped bar shown is fixed at two ends. Both the ends are fixed here rigidly. The bar is free from stresses when its temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. When the temperature of the bar is increased to 90 degrees Celsius, determine stresses induced in steel and copper portions, displacement in the junction at point C. Clearly, it's a series arrangement. 30 degrees Celsius, that is the initial temperature. Final temperature is 90 degrees Celsius. So delta T is change in temperature, which is 90 minus 30. 60 degrees Celsius is delta T. Then for equilibrium, force induced in steel should be is equal to force induced in copper. So 80 into sigma S is equal to 120 sigma C, or I can write sigma S as 120 by 80, which is 1.5 sigma C. So I got one of the equation. This is based on the equilibrium. And I can also use the kinematic condition. Kinematic condition for this case is alpha delta TL of steel plus alpha delta TL of copper should be is equal to dl of steel plus dl of copper. But dl of steel in terms of stress, if I write, it is actually PL by AE, but P by A can be written as stress. So it is actually sigma S LS by ES plus sigma C LC by EC. See, delta T is same for all the members. So I'll write delta C outside. So 60 I'll write outside. Alpha L of steel. Steel alpha is 1.8 into 10 power minus 5 into length of steel is 0.3 meter, means 300 mm, plus alpha of copper, it is 1.8 into 10 power minus 5, and length of copper is 600 mm, is equal to right hand side sigma S. See, sigma S, I will write it as 1.5 sigma C, and L of steel is 300 divided by E of steel is 200 into 10 power 3 plus sigma C into L of C 600 divided by EC is 100 into 10 power 3. To solve this equation, you will get a sigma C value of 5.5 Newton per mm square. Then when you substitute sigma S as 1.5 sigma C, you will be able to calculate sigma S also 158.3 Newton per mm square. So stresses in both the members we have found out. Displacement in the junction at point C. I have told you displacement in the junction is nothing but X. In series arrangement, you can see X is given by alpha delta TL of copper minus DLC, or DLS minus alpha delta TL of S. Any one of these use and find out X. Displacement at the junction. X is equal to alpha delta TL of copper minus TL of copper, which is nothing but 1.8 into 10 power minus 5. Delta T is 60. The length of copper is 600 minus TL of copper is nothing but sigma C 105.5 into 600 divided by 100 into 10 power 3. Sigma C LC by EC. So when you calculate this, you will get 0.017 mm. So point is getting displaced by this much amount. We'll take one more problem. A steel tube of 50 mm outer diameter and 10 mm thickness is fitted into a copper tube of inner diameter 50 mm and 10 mm thickness. They are connected by using 20 mm diameter pins at the ends. If the length of compound bar is 600 mm, find the stresses produced in the tubes and the pins when the temperature is raised by 25 degrees Celsius. The material properties are given. We will write steel tube first. This is steel tube. This is fitted into a copper tube of inner diameter 50 mm. See, outer diameter of steel tube is 50 mm. Inner diameter of copper tube is 50 mm. Means they are in contact. So I will write copper tube. So this is copper tube. And this is steel tube. They are connected using 20 mm diameter pins at the ends. Means that to connect them, they have used pins here. One pin here and one pin here. These are the pins. Just for connecting them, they have used pins. Now let us write the diameters. This diameter is 50. And inner diameter of the copper tube is 50. I have written already. And copper tube has a thickness of 10 mm. So it means this distance is 10 mm. And steel tube has a thickness of 10 mm. Means this distance is also 10 mm. So this much is given to you. You can always calculate what is the area of cross section of each member, because that is required later in order to write the PL by A expression. So we'll try to calculate the cross-section area first. So cross-section area of copper tube is pi into copper outer diameter is 50 plus 20, which is 70. So 70 square minus inner diameter is 50 square divided by 4. This is area of cross-section. Area of steel tube is pi into 50 square minus the inner diameter of steel tube is 50 minus 2 into 10, which is 30. 30 square by 4. So cross-section area we know now. Delta T is given as 25 here. For equilibrium, load carried by copper member should be is equal to load carried by steel member. This can be written as sigma C AC is equal to sigma S AS. Sigma C into pi into 70 square minus 50 square by 4 is equal to sigma S into AS. We'll get sigma S as 1.5 times sigma C. This is one of the expression which is based on the equilibrium condition. Now we'll take the kinematic condition. Kinematic condition for the parallel case is alpha delta TL of copper minus alpha delta TL of steel is equal to DLS plus DLC. This is the equation. This minus sign I'm using because it is parallel arrangement. If it is series, then I should have used plus here. Alpha of C is given by 17.5 into 10 power minus 6. Delta T is common, so I can write it outside. It is 25 into L of copper. L of copper and L of steel is same here, 600 mm. So 600, that also I can take it outside. 100 is the length, 25 is delta T. Alpha C minus alpha S, 12 into 10 power minus 6 is equal to, see, DLS is nothing but sigma S LS by ES, and this is nothing but sigma C LC by EC. Sigma S is 1.5 into sigma C from equilibrium equation into LS 600 divided by ES 200 into 10 power 3 plus sigma C into LC is 600 again divided by EC. EC is 120 into 10 power 3. That's all. You need to solve this for sigma C. You're supposed to get 8.68 megapascal. And plug in this back to the equilibrium equation to get sigma S. 1.5 sigma C, when you calculate, get 13.026 MPa. For the tube, we have found out the stresses, but for the pins also we can find out. I write the pin here. And this pin is inserted to the tubes like this. This side it does not matter. This is copper, this is steel. So copper tube tries to expand more. So let us say it tries to apply a load like this, okay, for the pin. But steel member will try to expand in a different direction. So it will apply load like this. The same situation will happen at the bottom also. So at this junction, there will be shear force. And at this junction also shear force will be present. So at this junction of the pin, shear stresses are developed. So basically the pin, if I write separately here, it is under double shear. One here, one here. There will be a shear here and there will be a shear here. The pin is subjected to double shear. This is actually PC, this is PS, this PC, this is PS. And PC is equal to PS. So what is the shear stress developed in the pin then? Shear stress in the pins, tau PL. PC or PS divided by 2 into area of the pin. See, 2 I am bringing because it is subjected to double shear. If the resistance to shear is happening at 2 locations, it is called double shear. Here it is double shear. So 2 into AP should be taken. PC is nothing but sigma C into AC. And 2 into area of the pin, 20 mm diameter pin. So it is 2 into 5 into 20 square by 4. You calculate this. It comes out to be 26.052 Newton per mm square. Next problem. The compound bar is made up of central steel plate of 50 mm width and 10 mm thickness, to which 2 copper plates of 40 mm width and 5 mm thickness are connected rigidly at a center on either sides of it. Length of the bar at normal temperature is 1 meter. If the temperature is raised by 80 degrees Celsius, determine the stresses in each metal and change in length. See, it's a compound bar made up of steel plate, 60 mm width and 10 mm thickness, to which two copper plates of 40 mm width. Steel plate and copper plates are of different widths here. Thickness also different, and they are connected rigidly at the center on either sides of it, means either sides of the steel member. So let us try to write the sketch for that. First, I will write a sketch for steel plate. This is a steel plate. This has a width of 60 mm. Length of the bar is 1 meter. So I'll write 1 meter here. And two copper plates of 40 mm width. And it is placed at the center. Right? In this thickness, I'll write it as 10 mm. Now copper plate, I'll write here. If this is the center of width, 50 mm means here and here it will come. This is how the plate is. And this has a thickness of 5 mm. But on either sides of it means there is one more plate at the bottom also like this. So this is copper plate and centrally steel plate. So this is how the arrangement is. Thickness is 5 mm here and 5 mm here. Width is 40 mm here. This is copper and this is steel. We have to find out stresses in each metal and change in length. First and foremost is equilibrium equation. It is same for parallel and series arrangement. Vs is equal to Pc, or sigma SAS is equal to sigma CAC. Now we have to be very careful here. Area of steel is 10 into 60. So sigma S into 10 into 60 is the area. Means this area you should take. But for copper, top and bottom there are two areas. So sigma C into 2 times 40 into 5. Those both the areas you have to take, top and bottom. If you calculate now, you'll get sigma C as 1.5 times sigma S. So equilibrium equation, we got it. Next is a kinematic condition. Kinematic condition for this is alpha delta TL of copper minus alpha delta TL of steel is equal to ALS plus DLC, because it is parallel arrangement. Alpha for copper is 17 into 10 power minus 6. Delta T is 80 degrees Celsius. I'll write that outside. Length is also same. So 80 into 1000 I'm writing outside. 17 into 10 power minus 6 minus 12 into 10 power minus 6. Alpha for steel, that should be equal to right hand side. DLS, I'll write it as sigma S LS by ES. Sigma S 1000 mm divided by 200 into 10 power 3 plus sigma C LC by EC. Sigma C is 1.5 sigma S from equilibrium into LC is 1000, 1 meter distance, divided by EC. EC is 100. When you solve this, sigma S, you will get it as 20 Newton per mm square. And when you substitute this into 1.5 sigma S, you will get 30. So stresses in both the members we have found out. We just have to find out the change in length. For parallel arrangement, change in length X is given by alpha delta TL of steel plus DLS, or it is alpha delta TL of copper minus DLC also. That is also fine. Any one you have to use. 12 into 10 power minus 6 into delta T is 80 into L is 1000 plus DLS. DLS is sigma S 20 into LS. LS is 1000 divided by ES. ES is 200. So calculate this, you will get 1.06 mm. That is the change in length of the compound bar. Next one. Here the sketch is given actually. It's a compound bar consisting of steel, bronze and aluminum portions connected in series. Now here it is series arrangement. The equilibrium equation is PS is equal to PB is equal to PA. All the three members will impose the same amount of force on each other. And kinematic condition will be three terms. One is alpha delta T L of steel plus alpha delta T L of bronze plus alpha delta T L of aluminum. See, three terms I am adding on the left hand side. Right hand side also DL of steel plus DL of bronze plus DL of aluminum. And these DLs can be written again in terms of sigma S and sigma C. This is sigma S LS by ES, and this is sigma B LB by EB. This is sigma A LA by EA. Substitute that equation 1 and 2, you can solve it and you can get what is required. Answer for A should get sigma A as 52.2 MPa, sigma B as 208.8 MPa, sigma sorry, this is sigma S is sigma B 104.4 MPa. This is the answer for the first case. See, first case is with rigid supports, and in the second case, support yields by 0.5 mm. You should take for the second case the left hand side, alpha delta TL of steel plus alpha delta TL of bronze plus alpha delta TL of aluminium. These are the free expansion, but restrained expansion will be minus 0.5. Right hand side will be same. So this equation we have to use and you will get this answers. So restrained deformation is not entire free expansion, it is reduced by 0.5 because support itself is yielding by 0.5. You can take this as homework. A composite bar show. Determine the reactions developed. Reactions means force in aluminum and steel. If you find out that itself is a reaction. We'll give the hint for this. Free expansion is alpha delta TL of aluminium plus alpha delta TL of steel. That is a free expansion. This, if you calculate, it comes out to be 0.945 mm. And this is restrained by the reaction. So there is one reaction here. There is another reaction here. Reaction is equal. Support reaction. So this should be equal to PL by AE or RL by AE of aluminium plus RL by AE of steel. So calculate this R here. R you will get as 12.9073 kilonewton. Other problem for homework, a brass bar of 20 mm is enclosed in a steel tube 40 mm external diameter. This is a parallel arrangement. Bar and tube steel tubes are initially 1.2 meter long and rigidly fastened at ends using 20 mm diameter pins. Similar problem we have solved. Answer sigma S at 12.17 MPa, sigma B brass 36.51 MPa, and stress in pin tau P you get 18.26 MPa. It is a rigid bar. AB is a rigid bar. You can see horizontal member AB. It is a rigid bar. It is hinged at point C. A steel and aluminium bar support it. Means you can see left support is steel bar, right support is aluminium bar, ends A and B respectively. The bars were stress free at room temperature. So at room temperature there are no stresses in the bars. Based on the expansion of steel and aluminium, the bar can rotate about point C, but it will not deform. Aluminium has more expansion. Right hand side is aluminium bar. There is one bar like this. There is one more bar aluminium like this, and there is a rigid bar which is initially horizontal like this. Is pivoted here at point C. I have written steel bar here. This is aluminium bar, and aluminium bar free expansion I am trying to write because lower end is fixed here. The other end can expand. Free expansion is alpha delta TL of aluminium. Steel member also can deform like this. It can be less or more depending on the length and alpha value. I'm just showing it like this. This is alpha delta TL of steel. But because of the member AB, steel and aluminium members will not undergo expansion to the full extent. There will be some thermal stresses. After deformation, let us say the bar AB, let's say it takes a position like this. It rotates about point C. This is actually anti-clockwise rotation I have taken. You can imagine the clockwise rotation also. You will get a different triangle, but you will get a similar same set of kinematic condition there also. So if I consider this as a final position of the bar, this distance is what? This is DL, DL of steel. And for aluminium, this is DL for aluminium. Now, we should be able to relate all these parameters using similar triangles. See, A, C, and if you call this as A dash, this point as A dash, and this point as B dash. The triangles A dash C, and B dash C. Those two triangles you can compare and you can arrive at a kinematic condition. And for equilibrium condition, you have to take moment about point C, and that gives FA into this distance is 800 and this distance is 1000. That is given in the question. So FA into 800 minus FS into 1000 will be equal to 0. This is the equilibrium condition. Kinematic condition, if you want, you have to compare those two triangles. So triangle A-C and triangle B-C. If you compare, you can write this distance is what? DLS minus alpha delta TL of S. DLS minus alpha delta TL of S, that is this side. And I'll take this side, 1000 mm I know. So I'll divide this by 1000, ratio of sides I'm taking. And corresponding sides on the CB dash B is alpha delta TL of aluminium minus TL. If you solve these two equations now, you'll be able to get the stresses in both the members. And I will write the answers here. Sigma S should be 63.103 MPa and sigma A should be 118.318 MPa. A horizontal rigid bar PQ weighing 100 kilonewton is hung by three vertical bars or rods, each of 500 mm length and 1000 mm square in cross section as shown. Central rod is steel and outer rods are copper. If the temperature rises 40 degrees Celsius, estimate the load carried by each rod and how much the weight will descend. See, this PQ is a horizontal rigid bar which weighs 100 kilonewton. You can imagine it as a platform or some slab or something like that. And that is supported by using three vertical bars. All three are of same length, 500 mm, and same cross-section area, 1000 mm square. So delta T is 40 degrees Celsius. You know that this is actually a parallel arrangement. But now, unlike the previous cases, you have a structural load also present. See, 100 kilonewton load is also present. You have to calculate the stresses based on 100 kilonewton load and stresses based on the temperature change and add them. When you add only, you will get a total stress in each member. I can give you the answer. One is with the structural load, corresponding load carried by each member, you can call it as FS1 and FC1. The second case, you consider the thermal load, use kinematic condition and equilibrium condition, find out Fs double dash and Fc double dash, and then add them. You will get the load carried by steel member as 74. Load carried by copper member as 13 kilonewton. This is the answer. So with this thermal stresses part is over.